Hello everybody, it's book review time, Carry on Comfort by Dan Simmons. And Dan Simmons is one of my favorite writers and it has been so for a long time. I love his books and this was not an exception to that. This is a quite old book right now. And when it was time that he wrote this, the internet wasn't such a prevalent thing. I think this came out before Hyperion actually. And in Hyperion he tells us about the dangers of the internet quite subtly. And this book was more visual in its description. And I loved that about it. It was kind of all over the place, but the video series Bullshit in English was inspired a lot by this book over here. The way I expressed and formulated those stories, it was really masterminded by Dan Simmons. I love this writer. He's an American guy. And I think he's going to come out with a book 2025, Omega Canyon. And this book though, it had some themes of history, Nazi Germany. And like there's so many characters and kind of like it blends into one very nice, but at the same time it's a very kind of what is this book really about? And Dan Simmons' books, like the later ones, can be like that. I think that over here he had a very good description and it was actually sometimes better than in his later books. And his imagination was kind of stronger here. But his older books are stylistically much better written. You know, they are much more better in their style. And that's really something that happens with so many writers. People write reviews based on the plot, the story and the character, and they ignore the style. And based on that, you see those reviews and people think that the writer's older books are better than the new. But almost every example I have read through my history of reading, I have read a lot, is that people and writers, they get better at style always when they write longer careers. Their style becomes better. They become better in using those words. They might not necessarily become better in plot, character, the aspects of writing, but they become better writers. And I look at that, you know, that's the most important thing for me. This book lacks some style. It has great description, a facet of writing. I have made some book reviews and some videos about these different facets of writing. And nowadays, in my current project, songwriting, it's mostly about style. It's of course also about mental images, description, but it's mostly about style. So yeah, that's it. Dan Simmons, Carry on Comfort. I highly recommend this book to you, but don't read it as your first Dan Simmons book because you might be pretty put off by it. It's not really a horror novel.